Welcome back to everyone who's watching Mamarga Gasawi TV. Again to be with me, Princess Mudisha. And let's start with the news headlines. President Paul Kagame hosts Africa's Aviation Safety Agents Chief. On the eve of African Aviation Summit, Kigali witnessed a groundbreaking moment in the air transport history. On the international scene, Portugal holds a day of mourning for 15 people killed in Lisbon funicular crash. Let's take a short break to be back into the news details. Welcome back into the news details, and let's start on news in Rwanda, where President Paul Kagame on Wednesday hosted Press Minister Director General of the Agents for Aerial Navigation Safety in Africa and Madagascar at Urugwiro Village of the Aviation African Summit and Expedition 2025 in Kigali. According to a statement from the Office of the President, the two discussed a second central role in advancing aviation across the continent, as well as Rwanda's leadership in the use of aviation to deliver economic and health benefits. Rwanda is widely recognized for pioneering drone technology, particularly in delivery of the medical supplies to remote areas. Zomito is in Kigali for the 9th edition of the Aviation African Summit and Expedition, a major gathering of the global and continental stakeholders in aviation industry. Rwanda last hosted the summit in 2022, and the two-day event hosted by the government of Rwanda alongside the Rwanda Civil Aviation Authority, Rwandair, and Rwanda Airports Company opens on September today at Radisson Blu Hotel and Convention Center. With the theme of collaboration to unlock Africa's aviation growth, the summit will provide a platform for networking, knowledge exchange, and the showcasing of aviation innovation. The summit agenda focuses on the key issues shaping the sector, including the sustainable through the adoption of the sustainable aviation fuels, the future of advanced air mobility with drones and aircraft, and infrastructure development such as airport expansion and the enhanced air traffic management system. This year, Kigali Summit is expected to draw senior government officials, industry leaders, and professionals from across Africa and beyond to transform policy discussion into practical steps for the sector growth. Now let's turn our focus to this story. We are at high-level forum on culture of peace held under the theme of empowering youth for culture of peace. Rwanda shared lessons learned from youth involvement in national governance and participation in peacekeeping mission.
Rwanda's reconciliation and recovery processes therefore focus on fostering a shared national identity, Ndi Umunyarwanda, translated to I am Rwandan, ensuring that no citizen is left behind. Second, and central to this forum's theme, we have placed young people at the center of leadership and peace building. With more than 60% of our population under the age of 30, empowering youth has been both a necessity and a cornerstone of a resilient, peaceful society. Young Rwandans shape national policy, lead local initiatives through the National Youth Council, and innovate programs linking peace to development. Globally, they serve on the front lines of peacekeeping missions, contributing to stability in conflict-affected regions. We believe youth are not only beneficiaries of peace, but indispensable partners in building and defending it.
Now let's turn our focus to this story, where on the eve of Africa Aviation Summit, Kigali witnessed a groundbreaking moment in air transport history. For the first time, a passenger drone capable of carrying 2 people was successfully tested. The drone, known as Electrical Vertical Take-Off and Landing, is the Chinese firm Hang. It soared a height of 100 meters, marking a new frontiers of Rwanda, which until now had many used drones for medical deliveries such as blood and medicine. Let's take a short break to be back into the international news.
Welcome to our
Let's take a look into the international news, where the migrants' journey along the deadly eastern route from the Horn of Africa to Arabian Peninsula have sagged sharply in 2025 despite rising risk and mounting death. Up next, our next story, Portugal declared a day of national mourning on Thursday after Funicon train delayed in Lisbon, killing at least 15 people in one of the capital's most popular tourist spots. Kamikaze's then proceeds.
On the international news list in Africa, where migrant crossings across eastern route from the Horn of Africa to the Arabian Peninsula have surged in 2025 despite rising risks and growing fatalities. According to the International Organization for Migration, 238,000 people made the dangerous journey between January and June, at 34% increase from last year. The surge has come at a tragic cost, with at least 348 migrants dead or missing. Many perished in Djibouti's scorching Obok Desert, drowned in the Lake Sea, or were killed in violent attacks by smugglers. Women and girls face heightened risk, with female migration through Djibouti more than doubling. Meanwhile, more than 55,000 Ethiopians have been deported from Saudi Arabia, returning to conflict-ridged regions such as Amhara, Tigray, and Oromia. Aid groups warn that migrants are trapped between extreme dangers abroad and worsening despair at home, underscoring the urgent need for humanitarian support. Preceding, Portugal declared a national day of mourning on Thursday after Lisbon's iconic Gloria funicular delayed, killing at least 15 people and injuring 18 others near Liberty Avenue, a major tourist area. The crash occurred on Wednesday when the yellow funicular, in service since 1885, veered off its track and slammed into a building. Victims, including fallen tourists, were pulled from the wreckage by rescuers working overnight. Prime Minister Luis Montenegro's office called the tragedy a moment of national grief, while European Union Chief Ursula von der Leyen sent condolences. Lisbon Mayor Carlos Moedas described it as a tragedy the city has never seen. Authorities have opened an investigation into the cause of the accident. Lisbon's transport operator Carris insisted maintenance protocols that had been respected, with RAS general servicing in 2022 and intermediate checks in 2024. The accident shocked Portugal, as the funicular is both a tourist landmark and daily commuter. Concluding, President Donald Trump has appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court, seeking to overturn a lower court ruling that declared many of his tariffs unlawful. The Federal Circuit Court of Appeals ruled 7-4 that tariffs imposed under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act exceeded presidential authority, since levying taxes is a core congressional power. The decision threatens Trump's economic and foreign policy agenda and could force the U.S. to refund billions in collected tariffs. Trump has imposed sweeping tariffs, including a baseline 10% levy and reciprocal tariffs on more than 90 countries, citing trade imbalances and national security risks. Additional tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China were also struck down. While the appellate ruling is on hold, Trump's administration urged the Supreme Court to act quickly, warning of disruption to trade negotiations. Small businesses that challenged the tariffs welcomed the rulings, arguing they caused serious financial harm. Kamikaze Ghislaine, Mama Urwaga Sabo TV.
As we come to the end of news edition today, let's go back with the news headline. President Paul Kagame hosts Africa's Aviation Safety Agents Chief. On the eve of Africa's Aviation Summit, Kigali witnessed a groundbreaking moment in its air transport history. On the international scene, Portugal holds a day of mourning for 15 people killed in the Lisbon funicular crash. Thanks for having me. Stay tuned.